Morning, everyone. We're representing the University of Tennessee, Knoxville, presenting the 2023 Green Bowl. Our presentation title is called Making Orange Green. So just to give a quick overview, my name is Julia Craven. My major is Engineering for Sustainability. Luke and I are both from the Knoxville, Tennessee area. As you can see from this map, Knoxville is pretty close to our campus, and there's a pretty symbiotic relationship between the Knoxville area and UT.
Yeah, and as Julia said, I'm Luke Cornelius. I'm a junior here at UT studying business management supply chain. I have a minor in environmental studies, so that's where these kind of interests for sustainability comes into play. But yeah, I mean, we being in the heart of Knoxville, UT has a huge influence on the city and the surrounding areas. So we really have a big influence, and I think it's kind of a responsibility to change the sustainability mindset of the Knoxvillians. So yeah, kind of a little bit more about our background. Julia and I have both been heavily involved with student organizations over the years. And so we chose for our project specifically to focus on holistic waste use, kind of as our student organizations have. So if you see in the right, there's a bunch of logos for those different student organizations we're talking about. So Smokey's Cleanup kind of focuses on collecting trash and litter around the campus and surrounding Knoxville areas. Myself, I'm the president of the Sustainable Business Organization, focusing on the way that UT buys things and just trying to change the way they do business in a more environmentally friendly way. Julia is president of the Compost Coalition, focusing on kind of in use and what happens to our products when we're done with them. And then we've both kind of been a part of SPEAK, the Students Promoting Environmental Action in Knoxville org. Again, just promoting those sustainability initiatives. So for our project, we're going to focus on three main objectives. We're going to look at the cleaning here on campus, take out cups and containers, specifically in dining halls and other eating avenues, and then composting. So yeah, again, cleaning. So my student organization performed a case study looking at the different types of cleaning products UT uses to keep surfaces clean. So again, we all know that bleach and other chemicals are harmful for the environment. So are there any sustainable alternatives to these? So just trying to take a look at that and see if we can kind of help push UT in the right direction towards sustainable change.
And then looking at other facets of waste, we see takeout cups and containers are a huge presence on our campus. So we kind of wanted to look at what's available to students when they do get to go containers, whether that's grabbing your cup of coffee or having leftovers at the dining hall, what is available to them that they're taking out. And this kind of goes in conjunction with the composting site that we have available on our campus. So what infrastructure already exists for on-campus composting and kind of who has access to that were sort of our guiding questions.
Yeah, so kind of looking at an overview, specifically, the UT Facility Services purchased $1.6 million of cleaning products through 12 different vendors. And so just trying to eradicate that down to just one product vendor, which would be Tersano. Tersano has the need that can get rid of all 12 of those different vendors and products, and just only use one. It's a specific type of ozone cleaner that is EPA, FDA, and USDA certified, so it meets all the criteria. It's just a matter of implementing it here at the university.
So kind of as stated on here, a lot of the takeout cups and containers that we have available on campus outside of our dining hall locations do go directly to landfill bins on our campus. As I'm sure other universities can relate to, we kind of have a few limited waste stream options that are available to students. Most of the time that's going to be landfill, some different recycling measures such as plastic or paper, and that's about it. We unfortunately do not have front of house composting, which, as kind of mentioned over here, we do have an existing compost facility that processes over 700 tons of compost a year, but most of this is going to be back of house composting use. So basically, if we have any leftover veggie scraps from our kitchens or the dining halls, they'll go straight to our compost site, but it's less available to students themselves.
Yeah, and so here using the GreenPen app, we can view some positive observations on campus. So on the left upmost over here, we have a Tersano ozone cleaner that was actually installed in one of the engineering buildings on campus. It was great, and we can kind of talk about the trial a little bit later in the presentation. But again, that's a great positive step in the right direction. In the middle, we have the Mug Project, which was a sustainability initiative promoting students to bring their own cups and then get discounted drinks at different dining halls and other restaurants on campus. So that was a good sustainability initiative. And then over on the right, we have single-use cups that are compostable. So just trying to get rid of the need for single-use plastics because students do have a desire to take drinks home and not take those reusable dining cups from the facilities.
So with every positive observation, there's also a lot of room for improvement. So despite the trial that we had with Terasana, there's still a lot of chemical cleaning products that do use single-use containers and unsustainable packaging, such as plastic. And a lot of the corporate presences on our campus, such as Starbucks, have takeaway containers that, again, are just not easily going to be recycled or really incorporated in that circularity that we're talking about with a lot of these different efforts to start moving towards compostables. And on top of that, when you look at the compost facility, because of the fact that we don't have the best front-end waste stream processes, a lot of those single-use plastics end up going directly to our compost site and infiltrating a lot of the compost that is then going to be reused on our campus. So honest statistics, we have one on here, and that's kind of for good reason. There's not a lot of true statistics that we can find at our university level that measure the actual progress associated with waste in general. So we do have one statement on here. In 2020, our Chancellor Donde Plowman signed the zero waste commitment, committing to increase UT's waste diversion rate to 50% by 2030. But again, as you can see with the lack of supporting statistics here, we can't really find a lot of information about how much progress has been made or what that is exactly looking like. So we decided to move forward with the progress on both the Office of Sustainability side as well as student organization side to see what that progress is looking like in both of those sectors.
Yeah, and so kind of talking about the true progress from the office side, again, UT spends $1.6 million a year on cleaning products, and zero of those are actually green certified cleaning products. And so kind of switching over to a sustainable alternative like Tersano would definitely increase our annual expenditures on those certified green cleaning products and help the university kind of just spend green a little bit more or less than the products that aren't certified and are harming the environment.
And as Luke kind of mentioned before, the mug project has been a pretty successful project on our campus where people can just take their water bottles or other reusable bottles here on campus and use them at any participating location to get their drink in a non-single-use plastic cup or other container. This has been a great initiative. People have loved it in the past, and we're hoping to continue it despite COVID. And then finally, looking at the percent diversion rates of our compost facility, we were able to find some statistics on this, which again, it does not look like it is going to meet the 2030 target of 50% diversion rates. However, there does seem to be a positive increase.
Awesome. And yeah, so kind of switching moves there, we're going to go to student organizations. So following my organization's case study, it was deemed by facility services, quote, that the test results were not favorable over the chemicals that we currently use. And so that cleaner that we saw a couple slides ago was actually sent back to the company. So that was very disheartening and kind of a big step backwards, we feel, in the sustainability movement. But we'll talk about next steps kind of here in a few slides.
And in regards to different compostable options that can work in conjunction with our UT compost facility, there is a local company called Genera, which provides compostable fiber products, which would be a more sustainable option to, again, complement our compost facility. And we are kind of still in those talking stages of figuring out when and where that could be implemented on our campus, but it does look like a promising avenue. And then we have performed waste diversion rates for just analyzing, again, what students have available whenever they have different access to waste streams and what they use for it. And we kind of just found that essentially, even when you're given a lot of options, people still opt to use landfill as their number one source of disposal.
Perfect. So yeah, kind of next steps, kind of the challenges moving forwards. So I think we need to take a step back and realize why Tersano didn't work, what the facility services team would be looking for, and kind of help them help us. So we should research other cleaning companies, maybe other alternatives to their needs, and figure out the best steps moving forwards that helps everyone.
And then again, just to reiterate, we're looking at more environmentally friendly compostable alternatives and continuing the mud project. In addition to the composting site, we do have a little bit of barriers with funding, so talking to our chancellor will be a great way to progress that. And that kind of gets into our avenue of decision makers. A lot of our decisions are made by upper level management, such as Chancellor Plowman. But again, it's important to note that other presences on our campus, such as the Student Government Association, are important liaisons for this.
Yeah, and so obviously there's been a lot of research done just kind of on different universities doing things like this. So we can look at what other universities are doing and kind of leverage that. But also UT wants to become a leader in green efforts. And us being one of the first SEC schools specifically in this competition, I think that's a great step forward. And we want to lead the SEC in these sustainable initiatives. So I think that's a great kind of vision for us moving forwards and would love to keep pursuing those sustainable initiatives.
Thanks so much for listening, all.